Charlie Kelly can't read. You can't count.
Kid can't read.
I've got a
He'll
list of
adapt.
21.
For reading?
So we're good. We can talk about all.
Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to jump into it. I don't have any preamble. Honestly, I should have been recording the preamble about us drinking and about how I feel about Madagascar because I can't spell Madagascar. But we missed all of that. And so now it's just not going to happen. We're back. Listen Night Podcast, back in your life. My name is Griffin Queen, as always, joined by Andrew Simon, Thomas Albert, Matt Modi. I realize that I say that, and I don't know that I always use the same order for you guys. So I apologize if somebody gets last billing more often than they get first billing. We're doing a DreamWorks draft this week. When I was not here a few weeks ago, the guys did a Pixar draft, and they did Pixar franchises. There are fewer Pixar movies than there are DreamWorks movies, I think. So we're just going to be doing movies this time rather than franchises because there's really only a few actual DreamWorks franchises. We're going to be doing 4 picks each, and we're going to be doing a snake draft. So it's going to go Modi and then me, Thomas, Andrew, and then Andrew will have his second pick, Thomas, me, Modi, and we will snake until everybody has 4 picks. As always, follow us anywhere you can. Subscribe, comment below. Let us know what DreamWorks movies you like. Let us know if there's any other types of lists you'd like us to do or drafts you'd like us to do or anything else. And send us to a friend, all that dumb stuff that I say every single time. Guys, we're recording relatively consistently again, and it's nice. It's good to see you. Modi, how you doing?
I'm good. Getting a lot of rain here, a lot of storms. But, what are you going to do? It's the summer.
I feel good about the shirt you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
I had a Star Wars shirt on yesterday, so I'm glad that I'm not wearing a Star Wars shirt currently, or else people might think that we were teaming up to get the first and second pick. I don't know.
It often seems that way.
Schedule's on the up and up.
Yeah.
Recording myself, I'm not that good of a coder to fake what I did.
Sure.
We
Sure.
should
Yeah,
do a
I mean,
2-on-2 episode, like a 2v2 episode somehow. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be fun.
I would do a 2v2. That I'm sure we could make it work. Just based on the way that we did our Monkey Paw episode, where somebody said what their wish was, and then somebody else came up with drawbacks of it. I mean, that was very collaborative, competitive. I think we could do a 2v2. That'd be fun. Thomas, before we get going, you're wearing a Savannah banana shirt. Andrew, I'm not going to talk about your shirt because it's got nothing on it. I find that incredibly uninteresting. But Thom, you were at a Bananas game this past weekend. How was that?
We're not sponsored. Let me make that clear.
We could be. We could not yet. I mean, they could be listening to this episode in the past, and in the future, List Night is the sponsor of the entirety of minor league baseball. Who knows?
Doubt it. It's a lot of fun. To be fair, I was drinking the whole time, but I think it would have been fun without it. I know it would have been fun without that. It really is it's a good show, and it's baseball, banana ball, but they put on a really good show. They make it very entertaining, genuinely for all ages. I mean, there were grown men sitting next to me who were there by themselves, and not in a weird, or maybe in a weird way, but we didn't have kids with us, and the 5 of us had a great time. It really is a good show. Not sponsored yet, though, so that's all I'm going to say.
It could be.
Weirder to go to a banana ball game by yourself or an actual baseball game by yourself?
Banana ball.
Yeah, I would think so, right?
Yeah.
I feel you're just singing boy band material to yourself and getting stuff for the gram.
There's definitely aspects that are targeted towards kids, in general, because it's entertainment. Where baseball, it's that's just a weird dude keeping score in the stands that has no affiliation with the team.
Yeah. Makes me think of when Julia and I went to Disney on Ice, because I was not aware that Disney on Ice was entirely designed for young families and their children. I just wanted to do something Disney related in the DC area with my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife. And we got there and I was like, this is exclusively families. And she said, what did you think it was going to be? And I felt like the creepiest man who's ever existed.
I'll take up some time real quick. My dad worked for the company that put on Disney on Ice. And he took me to the Finding Nemo, when they first made Finding Nemo on Ice, or Monsters Inc.
Sure.
Monsters Inc. And I was 11 or 12. So he took me, and then we were at the after party, whatever. And his boss zeroed in on me because I was the only kid in the room, and was like, "What'd you think of it?" And I said, "It was okay." And my dad was like, "What the hell?"
I imagine a Disney on Ice after party is a lot more like a stage production after party with a bunch of like theater nerds than like a rock show after party
After
or
party's
something
enough.
like
It was
that.
the executives, cocktail hour
Sure,
afterwards.
sure.
Luckily,
Test
his
group.
boss was like, "You're probably too old for it," but my dad was like, "You just got me fired."
No, come on. If he didn't want honesty, he shouldn't have asked. Like, come on, that's a good.
That's true.
I wish they had taken that feedback and not made any more Finding Nemo content, but instead it swept the globe, and I'm the only person on Earth that just does not like Finding Nemo. Okay, let's do it. I did not think that your T-shirts. I just wanted to talk about them again. Andrew, you've let me down.
Yeah, I don't even get a high just because I have a boring. I can find it. My closet's right there. I can find a better T-shirt.
Look, you look good. You look handsome. Your haircut looks great. It looks like you recently got it done. I feel like things are going your way just generally in life, which kind of bums me out. So I don't want to talk about you. No, it's not a high, not a good to see you. Let's get underway. You're the last pick, so that's fun. Modi,
That's true.
the floor is yours. DreamWorks draft. Let's do it.
Yeah. So the fact that we're doing a individual movie as opposed to a franchise, I don't know if that would have changed my number one pick, but I would have had to think about it more. And I'm curious if you guys agree that this was a clear 101. But I'm going with Shrek, the first Shrek. It's a goated animated movie in general. None of you guys went to my elementary school or were not in my fourth grade class, but for whatever reason, it was a huge part of my fourth grade experience was this first movie, Shrek. I have recently watched it as an adult, and it's just as good as I remember. Incredibly quotable. I'm glad that this is not a franchise because I don't need the 7 Shrek movies that came after this one. The second one was good, which I'm sure we'll talk about. The third one, and after that, I haven't even seen. But Shrek 1, I think, is goated.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, this is a great pick. It's, to me, the clear and away number one pick. Thomas and Griffin will probably argue against it because they know that these DreamWorks movies better than I do. But as a casual DreamWorks fan, which I think is the majority of people, Shrek is so far and away the number one pick. It's not even close. And I don't really want to hear otherwise, but let's hear it.
But I'm
You're
sure
not
you will.
wrong. I think it's a clear top 3. I think there are. For me personally, there are two that are right there with it. One is probably more nostalgia than anything, and then one is genuinely, I think, as beloved just by a different generation. I think for our generation, Shrek is the best DreamWorks in terms of when it came out for us growing up. Yeah, I mean that. If you hadn't picked this, I would have been like, that's weird.
It's the definitive 1-1 pick. I think I'm on the same page as Thomas, and I might know which ones he's referring to. If I was picking like my favorite DreamWorks movie, this would not be my 1-1 pick. And so if I had the first pick, it's very possible that Shrek would have been left on the board because I don't really, to be honest, I don't necessarily care that I win because whatever my list is going to be the best list regardless, even if the fans don't agree. Shrek is, like, I think by definition, the most popular DreamWorks movie. It has launched a multi-billion-dollar franchise. There are, between the Shrek movies, which there's another one coming, I think, soon.
Out. Yeah.
Puss in
And
Boots
Puss
movies.
in Boots.
I want to say there was a Puss in Boots TV show, but I'm not 100% positive. Like, it's just a massive franchise. Yeah, Shrek's the one.
Video
Like,
games.
yeah, they've got everything.
All right.
Yeah,
Great
and
pick.
memeable.
I will
Very
say,
memeable.
to Griffin's point, I'm glad I was kind of glad to be the third pick because I didn't want to have to justify not picking Shrek 1, which I might not have done.
Yeah, I am also glad, and this is the semi-rare time, that I was happy to not be the number one pick because I knew that if I didn't take it and I didn't want to take it, there was going to be immediate pushback on that because it makes sense.
Yeah. Would have been a terrible pick.
Yeah. However, I do enjoy having the second pick because I feel like the actual best DreamWorks film is the one that is about to get picked. And that's the How to Train Your Dragon animated movie. I think it is the best. The first one, yes.
Yeah.
With Jay, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Baruchel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, incredible movie. Has launched a live action franchise at this point, which I don't think the rest of DreamWorks films have done. Really not enough things I can say about it other than the fact that I think we talked about it the other day. The dragons are incredibly pet coded, like dog and cat coded. And so if you like a movie about dogs or anything like that, you are going to love the How to Train Your Dragon films. I think it's genuinely like a perfect animated film. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. And I'm glad that I was the number 2 pick so I could take this one.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable. The point I made before I took Shrek is if this was franchise, I think this honestly would have been my first pick because all 3 movies are great. Like the first one's phenomenal, so I'm not necessarily arguing that any other one should have been picked above it, but I think 2 and 3 are awesome. And the fact that they're all 3 bangers, unlike Shrek, and they didn't make a million movies that all, I'm guessing, fell off. Yeah, I think it's well within a very reasonable argument to say that How to Train Your Dragon 1 is a better movie than Shrek.
Aaron had never seen any of them, and I honestly don't know if I've seen the third one all the way through. I think I have, but maybe only once with my nieces, who are obsessed with these movies. But we recently watched the first and second one, and yeah, they are fun, phenomenal movies. I'm not upset this got picked because now I don't have to justify not picking it, even though if for some reason Griffin didn't pick it, which I knew you would, I probably would have for number 3. It's fun. It's cool. It makes you want a dragon because, yeah, like you said, Griffin, they're essentially already house pets. Like the way they animated and gave them their characteristics. It's, yeah, it just like Shrek. If you hadn't gone this at number 2, it would have been like kind of a weird pick.
Toothless has like cat qualities, but he's also incredibly pit bull coated, and that just obviously does so much for me. Thomas, can I guess I guess, Andrew, if you have any feedback, you might be a huge
nothing that has already been said. This is a good pick. I figured it would definitely go in the first round.
Can I guess what your pick is going to be? Actually, I'll just let you go because I think it's probably pretty clear what you're going to pick, but
I don't know if it is.
Is it a franchise?
No.
I have a guess.
No, it is not.
Pick 3 is The Road to El Dorado.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick.
And that's what I mean. It's part of it is nostalgia because like it's definitely not as popular as the other ones, but like it's hard for me not to have it. Like it's easily a top 3 for me, and like it would be hard for me not to have picked it at 1 or 2 if given the option. I used to fall asleep to this movie all the time. I love this movie. It is phenomenal, and it needs more credit than it gets.
You know, one thing that it needs more credit for. How incredibly memeable it is. It's is
very memeable.
One of the most iconic memes of all time. Is it both? Both is good?
Yeah.
Is from, yeah. And then also, let's be honest, Matt Ferrantino's not on this episode, but I gotta, do this for his benefit. The female character in absolute baddie. Just I feel bad for the MAGA people out there who only like white women because you're missing out.
It coming out in 2000, it made a lot of 90-born young men love Latin flavor. Right? I don't know how to put it. But no, it's.
I mean, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
I mean, it's one. She's a great character, but they clearly drew her in a certain way.
Between Road to El Dorado, Shakira, and Jennifer Lopez, like the late 90s and early 2000s were just an awakening for kids of our generation.
Plus the green M&M. We used to be a proper country.
We used to be a real country.
Yeah, no, this is a good pick. And well, I mean, so I don't know if it's like objectively a good pick. I wouldn't say that like it has critical acclaim like How to Train Your Dragon does and Shrek does, but it's a very Thomas pick, but also I respect it. Like this isn't like a wild card pick. This is just like a sleeper pick maybe.
I mean,
it wasn't the movie that I thought you were going to go with, but it was number 3 on my board, so I would have taken it third. So I'm in total agreement.
What I did not realize that it was the 3rd DreamWorks movie, also scored by Hans Zimmer. So obviously it's a good movie.
Sure was.
Yeah,
I think a few of these that we might have were. I think a number of the early DreamWorks films were.
I think even some of the still early, but like mid-range, he scored a lot actually. Now that I'm looking at the page, like some recent ones too.
Yeah, so. There's some that Taryn and her kids listen to all the time that are under the Hans Zimmer category on Spotify. Like he's prolific. Call him what he is.
Honestly, there's even some where I'm like, why would he be a part of that? But I'm sure they paid him money.
But you gotta build the resume before they put you checks. On. Before you put the Dark Knight.
Some of his recent DreamWorks ones, I'm like, really? You got involved? All right.
Yeah. All right, Andrew.
All right, my first pick, number 4 overall. I'm gonna take another nostalgic one. I'm gonna take Chicken Run. When I was a kid, the claymation animation style was always like sort of weird to me, but I still really liked that movie as a kid. I think I've watched it once since I watched it as a kid in like 2000, and it was good again. So I don't know. It's to me, it might be another sleeper, but I was looking up like reviews of it, and it seemed to be pretty well liked across the board, and I think for good reason.
I remember really liking it as a kid. I don't really remember it anymore. It's very low on it's on my like extra list because like I just don't remember that well. But yeah, I do know it's like it's maybe I don't know if critically acclaimed is the right word, but like yeah, it's well respected in terms of movies, even though it's not necessarily thought of as like one of DreamWorks' like, you know, statuesque movies. But I remember it being great as a kid. I'm not a huge claymation like Wallace and Gromit person, but Chicken Run was I think I saw it for like my birthday in theaters, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. I kind of bounced off Chicken Run as a kid. I liked Wallace and Gromit a lot, and for whatever reason, I just never really got into Chicken Run. Mel Gibson as your primary male protagonist, Andrew, that's tough.
Was it
Tough
really?
look for you.
That's true.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
I look, if you had asked me 90 seconds ago, I would not have known that. But I did just revisit the Wikipedia page. Didn't look, great actor. You know, the man might hate the Jews, but he knows film structure. Good pick. I think it actually is a very highly critically reviewed film. Like, I think it is generally considered, like, at the time, one of the high points of animation. Not one that I have a relationship with. I cannot believe it went in the first round.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
You could have gotten it later,
I
but
know.
I'm glad it got picked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good pick. Low value first rounder.
Fair
I'm
enough.
in the same boat as Thomas, where I don't think I saw it once as a kid. I remember really liking it, and I don't think I've seen it since. But it was on my list. Like I would have taken it at some point because it was a movie that I've seen.
That's
I
like
will
DeAndre
say,
Ayton over
when
Luka
putting
Doncic.
together my list of movies that were going to make my list, it skews. I mean, obviously, just due to our age, it skews like the early part of DreamWorks, just because, like you said earlier, Matt, I don't know that most of them after 2010, even after like 2005, it was like a one-off if I had seen it. It wasn't like I was like waiting for this movie to come out and then I went to go see it. So
I want to be clear. You said due to our age, we're in our absolute primes right now. So let's jot that down.
I haven't even begun to peak, but yeah.
When
All
I
right,
do.
second pick for me. I'm torn between two, and I'm just gonna hope that I can get the other one. I hope it'll fall. So I'm gonna take Kung Fu Panda.
That's a first round pick.
It is, and you know anything Jack Black does is perfect. So that's really all I have to say. But the characters in Kung Fu Panda are like just fun characters, fun concept for a movie, silly, all the in all the right ways, and yeah. Again, this is not a franchise episode, but like spun off into like one of their more successful franchises for sure.
This is the other one. This is what I thought Thomas was going to take. And honestly, if this had gone 1-1, I would not have disputed it. I think this, How to Train Your Dragon, and Shrek are probably all candidates for 1-1. I can't believe. I mean, I guess because you went back to back, it make it happen. When people look at this draft board and they see that you got Kung Fu Panda in the second round, they're going to be astounded. But yeah, incredible pick. Incredibly beautiful films. Like, I think probably the absolute peak of DreamWorks various animation departments. Nothing off the top of my head. There's actually maybe one or two off the top of my head that like compete with it visually. Incredible scores, great acting, very funny, incredible fight scenes, like ones that you can very much watch in your 30s and be just as into as like a 9-year-old might be. A good pick. A lot of value there.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen the third and fourth one, but I've seen the first two, and I think that I watched the first one in the background recently, and it would have been an easy 4 for me. I do like Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon as a term of franchises a little bit better, but that's not a knock of Kung Fu Panda because yeah, they're beautiful. The fight scenes, like you said, Griffin, like they're genuinely like good, entertaining, exciting, like suspenseful. Like and Jack Black is Jack Black. Like he makes everything. I mean, he's just funny. It's genuinely good movie. Nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, this is in the Cars category for me, where it's like the first time I watched it, maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace, so I didn't enjoy it, and I haven't seen, or not that I thought it was bad, it wasn't for me, and I haven't seen any of the ones since then. So maybe this is one that I have to watch again, and maybe I'll like it better. So yeah,
that surprises me a little bit because it's like the most like anime coded DreamWorks film.
Yeah.
just in terms of like what I know you like, and I mean, granted, I guess you didn't really like
That's
get
what's
super into anime until you were into your 20s, but you might like it a lot more now than you did probably when you first saw it.
Yeah, I probably will.
Good pick,
I
Andrew.
guess that's me.
Good pick, Andrew. Bad shirt, good pick.
Fuck, I really don't know where to go with this.
Get stressful
I
quick.
can tell you ones that I'm not gonna pick so that you can take them.
That actually would help because there's one I want it. Like, there's one I don't actually want at number 2, but I don't want to not pick it. But I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with the sequel. I'm gonna go with Shrek 2. I think Shrek 2 genuinely. I don't think it's better than the first. I think it coming in 6 makes a lot of sense. I think it's a very good movie that expands the world and universe that the Shrek movie was in. The first Shrek movie was from one castle to a swamp to another castle. Like, it was there. And then we expand this universe to the fairy tales, like more so than even when they were just in a swamp. And you get Puss in Boots, you get horse donkey and human Shrek.
Good pause.
I just can't speak. I have very good memories of watching this movie in like 7th grade art when she didn't want to like do art. She would put this on. I don't remember the teacher's name, but I just remember she would put this on constantly.
Well, it is art, so I give her a pass for putting it on. Yeah, this is the one I was deciding between Kung Fu Panda and Shrek 2, and
Glad I went next.
yes, Shrek 2 is I think it's a perfect animation sequel. Like, a lot of them are just cheesy, like have storylines that don't matter. It's just clearly they're just, trying to cash in. Not that they weren't trying to do that for Shrek 2. They absolutely were. And I feel like Shrek 2 cemented Shrek as like having the legacy it has now. But yeah, like you said, like it introduced like a fun story, like more to the universe, like new fun villains, and also like mixed with just like the almost like mundaneness of like, okay, Shrek is happily ever after and got married, but now he's got to like meet his in-laws and like do real world shit, which is kind of funny.
I don't know if I deserve this pick because I didn't even mention the giant gingerbread man and them having hot foam to drop on him at the castle gates. I mean, an absolute epic scene of Shrek making the run to the castle. Like, phenomenal.
I don't think that makes you not deserve it for
I don't
not
think I deserve it. I didn't even bring it up.
one scene in the 2-hour film.
A lot of people are saying that scene is up there with Lord of the Rings: The Twin Towers in terms of.
People are
It's much like the Siege of Rohan of Helm's Deep. Absolutely,
a lot of people say that.
Are right.
Yeah. Those people, they've never been more correct.
Yeah, this is a good pick. Shrek 2 is awesome. I don't feel this way anymore, but there was a point where I thought it was better than the first one. I think it's just because I was excited that I got to see the characters again. But just to that point, it is a very good movie, very good sequel.
That's apparently not like a crazy hot take. There's like Twitter discourse about Shrek 2 over Shrek 1 all the time.
And
it's like the thing that people on the internet still fight about.
I think it's because you get so many more characters that you love. Like, I would pick Shrek, but that also like might just be because I don't think sequels are ever as good, like internally. But like, I understand why people would think it for sure.
Yeah, I think Farquaad is better than Prince Charming, but yes. I mean, look, they're both really good movies. I was actually, when I was going through the list of all the DreamWorks films to remind myself of all of these, DreamWorks pretty consistently has very good sequels. And I know that we've all seen a lot of like Disney sequels. Like, they used to do all the direct to video, and they used to do like their TV shows on like Toon Disney and all that. And it was just like garbage that they would churn out. DreamWorks pretty much across the board, except for a couple of these franchises that I don't really like know very well. Like, the sequels do big money and they do really, really good critical reviews, and like fans love them.
I think it's because they don't do a ton of sequels. So when they do it right. Unlike Disney, where they're like, oh, we can make an Aladdin 2 because people are going to watch it and we can make money off of it. And it's like an objectively horrible movie.
We can make an Aladdin 2 and not cast Robin Williams, which is crazy.
I also feel like, and this may be blasphemous, but like I feel like Disney animation, like their movies are like really good stories, like standalone stories, but like DreamWorks does a really good job of building characters.
Yeah.
And like that can be placed into new scenarios, and they're like, I don't know, they almost like lend themselves better to having sequels.
I think DreamWorks has also just, again, looking down the list and like everything that I've got on mine, I think they have a lot more things that are very much like all ages. Like you can rewatch it as a teenager or as an adult if you saw it as like an 8-year-old, and you will appreciate a lot because they're willing to make jokes that a Disney movie necessarily might not be willing to.
About a Disney movie.
What's up?
Make jokes about a Disney movie.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. They are like satirical and they reference a lot of that stuff. And
I mean, isn't Shrek almost totally making fun of Disney?
Yeah.
Making fun of Disney, making fun of fairy tales. Yeah. Making fun of like how much we've softened the edges off of a lot of fairy tales when originally they were like, don't let your kids walk in the woods alone because something will rape and eat them. That's what fairy tales used to be.
Back when we were a proper country.
Back when England was a proper country.
Favorite supposed internet facts that the animators, when they were being punished, were taken off Prince of Egypt and sent to work on Shrek. Like that's like, whether it's real or not, that's been going around the internet for years now.
Can I ask for a clarification on that?
Yeah.
When they were being punished?
Like when they were like, when you weren't, if you weren't doing a good quality or hard enough work or whatever.
Got it, like low quality work. They put you on a different
or like
project.
They were
okay.
like, hey, like we need the A team. The BC team was sent to work on Shrek, the redheaded stepchild, and Princess Egypt was what they were like pushing everything into.
And now Shrek has made $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess it worked out for them.
I mean, it is true. Like the animation at Shrek is like good, but like not compared to some of these others. So it's like, it's really about the story, like the music, the memes, like everything that's come of it since.
Mike Myers.
The soundtrack, a huge portion of it. I mean, can you imagine Shrek without Smash Mouth? I can't. I can't imagine Smash Mouth.
Or Hallelujah.
Or Hallelujah. Arguably the best version of Hallelujah.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like guys our age in the late 90s, early 2000s, like were Smash Mouth fans before Shrek, but like that's like the minority of Smash Mouth fans. Most people just think of Shrek.
Yeah.
What I thought you were going to say, which I actually agree with more, was that we are Smash Mouth. And I think we are.
We are Smash. Is that like Spartacus? Are we all Smash Mouth?
Between Shrek and Rat Race, yeah, we're Smash Mouth.
We're Smash Mouth.
We are a big Rat Race podcast. All right, I'm gonna move on to my number 2 before we get back into our Rat Race cinematic universe. This one, I'm gonna straight up say I think I'm reaching, and I don't think anybody else is gonna take this, but because I am fearful that somebody else will take it, I am just immediately gonna get into it. It is maybe their most recent release or the second most recent release. It's The Wild Robot.
God damn it! I did not think that anybody was going to take this.
I knew Griffin would.
It's a great movie. It's a great pick. I am mad at you.
This is a bigger reaction than I expected. I did not think. I thought a second round pick was going to be a reach. This is creeping its way up my list of favorite animated movies ever. This is potentially the most I have ever cried in a movie theater. Julia and I watched it when it was in theaters last year, and immediately we were like, we need to see this movie again. Like we saw it with some people that were not into it, and I think it genuinely changed our opinions of them a little bit because we were like, how could you not be having an emotional reaction to this film right now? I'm not a parent. I imagine at some point I will be. I don't know. This is one of those movies that I feel like if I am, like, once I'm a parent, I might not be able to watch again. It's gorgeous. The score is gorgeous. The characterization is gorgeous. I know it's based on a book. I haven't read the book. I think I'm going to buy it for my nephews because I think they're like children's books, like you can read them to them. I don't have enough positive things to say about The Wild Robot, and clearly it was a good choice for me to take it now that apparently other people were going to consider it.
It would have gone with one of my next 2 picks, 100%. I'm just curious, have either of you guys seen it, Thomas or Andrew?
I've seen it. I really liked it. It would have been like not as much as you guys did. I knew Griffin loved it. So I knew I didn't think I even had a chance of getting it. I'll say that.
I think I sent paragraphs about it in the group chat after I got done with it like midnight Pacific time. And I was like, you guys need to go to this movie.
I really, really liked it. I thought it was beautiful. Super well made. It's not the most recent. Dogman came out in January. But the most recent DreamWorks movie I could remember coming out that I was like, oh man, I wanted to see it in theaters. I ended up not actually, but I wanted to. And when I did watch it, I was like, oh, this was real. It was clearly it was nominated too. It was clearly a very good movie, but I think you both love it more than I do.
Well, I loved it. I also didn't think it was going to go because it was so recent. I was like, oh, these losers aren't going to take this movie.
I love this movie.
It's really
don't
good.
underestimate how much content Griffin is able to consume.
And now I've got AMC A list as of a few weeks ago. Your boy's going to be seeing like 4 movies a week going forward.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but beyond just Griffin talking about how good it is, I remember like it being just talked about like in various articles, various websites and stuff, and being like, oh, I should probably get around to watching this movie, and I still haven't yet. But yeah, it's actually on Rotten Tomatoes, it has the 3rd highest rating among DreamWorks films, behind Chicken Run and How to Train Your Dragon.
A lot of emphasis.
All right, well,
on
I
that
got 2 of
one.
those. I got 2 of those. Then that's good. I'm okay with that. I want to say it's on Apple TV, maybe.
It
was on streaming really quickly. It was streaming while it was still in theaters. Like they got it on streaming real fast.
All right, now I'm between.
All right,
3. I was so confident with my next 2 picks because I was so confident that was going to be one of them that I am scrambling a little bit.
See, Andrew, that's how you do a value pick. That's how you do a value pick.
One of them I know I'm going to take, so I'll just get this one first, and then hopefully I'll make my decision while you guys are talking about it. Madagascar. I didn't think it was going to come back to me. I really, really like Madagascar. I admittedly haven't seen it, I don't think, since high school, but I remember seeing it multiple times when it came out and then again in high school, because I think it came out when we were in middle school, if I remember correctly. Either way, I really like Madagascar. I thought it was a great movie. The sequels, not that we're doing franchises, but I thought were also not horrible, like not in the category of like sequels that were terrible. But the first one, it's clearly the best to me.
This actually got pushed out of my top 10, and I think mostly because I haven't seen it recently. I remember liking it, but I don't remember like not the way I like pretty much everything else that has been talked about so far. Like, I know it's loved. I know like kids loved it. I know I liked it. I remember the second one being pretty good too. I didn't see anything after that. I just looked, they're making another one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They've got like 5 of them, and I think they had a TV show.
Yeah, I just looked. They did have, and they have Penguin movies too, and a Penguin show. I think whatever. I wasn't sure where it was gonna fall. This kind of makes sense, but yeah, I mean, like I can't say it's not a good pick because it is a loved movie, beloved.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I really like it. Not one of my favorites, but I know how popular it is. I think it's more popular than the actual island of Madagascar. Like more people know about the movie than actual Madagascar. Marketable. Kids love it. It's got good music.
It's got a great cast.
There's
Great
a lot of things to like about it, and I think this sort of like mid rounder makes sense for it.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of in the perfect spot, to be honest. Sorry, Griff.
No, you're good. I actually saw the first one after I saw the second one. I didn't realize the second one was the second one. It was streaming on something.
The number 2 in the title didn't tip you
Madagascar
off?
2 Escape.
You thought that was
It
like Star
actually
Wars
has 2 in the
Episode
title
4?
twice because it's Madagascar 2 Return to Africa.
Yeah.
I think I came in a
You're
few
like,
minutes
I
into
can't
it.
wait to watch this first movie in the franchise.
Okay, all right, settle down. I think I came into it a few minutes into it. Like it was, you guys might not remember this, but we used to like watch TV, and so like you might just like flip to a channel and something was already on.
Yeah.
Homer.
And so you didn't start at the beginning of it because you didn't choose to watch it. It was just what was already on. I think that's how I watched it the first time. Either way, go fuck yourselves. The second one, I was going to say in support of this, you guys are all saying the first one is better than the second one. I thought the second one was really good. So that, lends even more credence to the first one being a good pick because I think they're both good movies. They were not in my top 5, but they're good. They're a lot of fun. I would say probably 2 of the funnier DreamWorks movies, I think. I mean, I think the main cast is like primarily like genuine comedians. Yeah, it's a good pick. If you want to do Madagascar 2, also an option. You can go back to back.
I do think it is one of the movies, like they're all comedies, but it is like the almost more more comedically focused than some of the other ones, or most of the other ones, honestly. Like obviously Kung Fu Panda with Jack Black and all that, but like Madagascar feels more like a straight up comedy than
Yeah,
everything.
I forget the female one, but I know like Ben Stiller and Chris Rock, obviously.
Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, David Schwimmer, and Jada Pinkett Smith. I would not consider Jada Pinkett Smith the funniest human in the world.
Yeah.
But 3 of your top 4 are genuine, like actual comedians. So pretty solid. And Sacha Baron Cohen, I think, he's like the
lemur.
Lemur, yeah. And the lemurs are a big part of that.
All right, I haven't made my decision yet. Between one that I know I really liked as a kid, but haven't seen it, and one that I'm going to go with the one that I've seen more recently that I can speak to more. It's How to Train Your Dragon 2. Really, really, really good. I don't like, we already talked about it. I think the second one is not as good as the first. I think it's very close to as good as the first. So I'll just take the How to Train Your Dragon 2 off the board.
Yeah, really great pick. I've said a lot of positive things about How to Train Your Dragon. I can't take them back now. At one point, I considered all of my picks being the How to Train Your Dragon movies, because now across 3 movies and a live action remake, those could have been my 4 picks. That has obviously gone out the window, and I decided not to do it anyways. But this has really, put a period on that one. 2, I remember being not I guess as popular as the first one, but I think it was one of those ones where people were like pretty much same level of quality. It advances the story. You get tons of dragons, like everything that you love about the first one is magnified in the second one, and you're more familiar with these characters, and it's just a really good movie. Like I have no issue with this pick whatsoever. Getting it in the 3rd round, a lot of value there. I think this is my favorite DreamWorks franchise. So yeah, between Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon, you've got some quality on that board. Yeah,
I do think, much like Shrek 2, I think it's easy for someone to argue it being better than the original because it expands the universe that you already love. And it does it not in a, hey, we're here to make money way, which is always part of the motivation, but in a, look how beautiful this world is. In the first one, there were 5 different dragons, and now there's hundreds of different dragons. And like the lore of it, the drama of it, the comedy of it, it is a super well made sequel that I like. I could have gone a lot higher for me, to be honest. It's a great pick.
It's a banger. It is.
Thanks.
Shockingly, I haven't seen the second one, but I will add it to the list.
Genuinely, you should. I mean, it's just like I need to rewatch the 3rd one whenever Aaron gets back, but we just watched the second one, and it's still great.
Andrew needs to watch the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Modai needs to watch the Kung Fu Panda franchise. I don't know what I need to watch because I've clearly watched too much already. But we'll figure it out. All right, 3rd round pick.
Number 10.
Thanks, appreciate you.
Round out the top 10, Griff.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, there's a few different things that really speak to me here. Again, this is one I don't necessarily think you guys are going to take, but it might not be here to come back to me 4 picks from now. So I'm going to go Megamind.
Oh,
Megamind.
Never seen it.
All right. Well, again, you guys, you love to react to my picks. I thought, all right, cool, great. I appreciate that reaction from Thomas. I guess I appreciate that reaction a little less from Modai, because I'm not taking something from him that he wants, which is the only reason I do this podcast. Megamind is a top tier superhero movie, and it's a great subversion of the standard superhero tropes. It is one of multiple DreamWorks films that has Brad Pitt as a voice actor. It is another one that is really, really, really funny, and I've seen it 6 or 7. Like I've seen it a good number of times for a movie that's been out for like 10 years. Maybe longer than that. I've lost sense of time. It's still very funny. Like it was funny as a late teenager, early 20s, and it is still funny into my 30s. I imagine it will continue to be funny. Jonah Hill plays an incredible piece of shit douchebag, more than you would see in a lot of other animated films. Yeah. I love Megamind.
I had 2 for my next pick, and I had just decided like 15 seconds before that it was going to be Megamind. So like I have a backup pick, but I'm still pretty annoyed and it speaks to the quality of DreamWorks that it was not higher on my list, but like it doesn't take away from it. It is a fantastic superhero movie. You're right. Like Jonah Hill plays a character reminiscent, but like, more of the bad guy in the first Incredibles. Like it's very similar vibes.
Syndrome?
Yes. But like to like a more douchey, maybe realistic level. Like it's a fun, funny, weird movie that I probably need to rewatch because it's been a while. and I would have picked it next. And Andrew, have you seen it or have you not seen it either?
I haven't. I haven't seen it. It's memeable. I've seen memes about it.
Memeable.
That is absolutely true.
People love to like make fun of people's heads if they look like Megamind a little bit, or like either like Megamind or like what's his name, the alien from American Dad, like that kind of a shape.
Oh, Roger.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, I don't have anything to add.
That's all right.
Think
Probably a bad pick if half the group hasn't seen it. So that's my only thing I'll add.
If you say there's a sequel to it, it was like direct to TV, and it's genuinely like the inverse of what I was saying earlier about DreamWorks having good sequels. It came out recently, and it was critically and commercially reviled.
I thought they were making something, but I don't remember ever seeing anything about it.
I have no interest in watching it. I don't think they brought back any of the voice cast. If I remember correctly, it's like an entirely different animation team. They basically just like pumped it out. It might have been like a COVID like thing just to like make money. I have no idea, but it didn't. Nobody wanted it. Nobody asked for it.
I don't even see it anywhere. Oh, it was a TV movie. No, TV movie, a short film in 2011. I don't know. I don't see anything on the
maybe it wasn't even DreamWorks that put it out. Maybe they like, I don't know. Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, March 1st, 2024, under Related Productions.
Yeah.
Oh, they did it for Peacock. So there you go. So they did it as like a television film sequel. Doesn't matter. No one cares about it. Not part of my pick.
Interesting. All right. Well, we can move on then.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried this was about to get picked. Like, I felt I was safe for it to be my last pick behind Megamind, but I'm just going to pick it now because I don't want to risk it. This is the movie I pretended not to like because my little sister loved it so much. But as I've grown up, I can admit it's a banger. I don't think it gets talked about enough. It did get a sequel, which I've never seen. But Spirit is an absolute phenomenal Western movie with Matt
Stallion
Damon.
of the Cimarron or whatever it is.
It's like
Cimarron?
the Untamed, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Like, it's Stallion of the Cimarron, yeah.
This is a horse movie, right?
This is the horse movie.
It's a horse movie.
It's not like strictly comedy like some of the other movies. Like, it's exciting, it's adventurous. It has that wild Western feel that you get from Western movies of just like expansive, unexplored, wild. It's a good movie.
You say Matt Damon was a voice actor?
He was the narrator of he was Spirit.
That's cool.
He was the spirit of the horse.
Yeah.
I remember so
his spirit
little
doesn't actually
about
talk, but he's the narrator of it.
I remember so little about this movie, but I do remember, like, I feel like if I had watched it right now, I'd have like just random like bits and pieces come back to me.
I thought someone would have snuck this in at some point underneath me.
No, I would never have picked this because I have never seen it. And I remember, kind of like you were saying with your sister liking it so much, I remember as a kid, like rejecting the idea of watching this. Not really because anybody specifically that I knew was super into it, but because it was like the definitive like horse girl movie that all the horse girls were super into. And I was like, I like Dragon Ball Z. Like, I don't like what you like. You don't like what I like. We coalesce. I'm sure it's a good movie. I'm sure it is.
I'm sure there's more movies, but 3 movies stick out to me from my childhood that I was like, no, I don't want to watch that. But secretly, I was like, I wanted my sisters to put it on. And it was Spice World, the Spice Girls movie.
Stop.
Oh, Spice World kicked so much ass.
But back when I was a boy, a young man boy, didn't want to be into it. Get
Little
Over
boy,
It,
baby
which
boy.
is- I made Aaron watch Get Over It recently, and it's just a funny movie. And Spirit, my little sister loved it. She named her hamster after Rain, and I was like, no, this movie's awful. It's for girls. I'll watch it with you.
I'm such a good big brother.
Spice World's an incredible pull. And also, I feel like that's a movie that little boys absolutely would be into because every single one of the Spice Girls were absolute baddies. Meanwhile, I was watching Grease all the time as a kid, so we really should have seen all the signs that I was going to kind of like dudes. Yeah.
Well, it's telling that like you have a younger sister, so Spirit was the younger sister movie. Spice Girl was the older sister movie, which we all had. And our sisters probably all had that movie on VHS. So
absolutely, I think
Yeah.
Taryn used to watch Spice World all the time.
We definitely had it on VHS.
Yeah.
All right. Spirit,
All right.
great pick. Thank you.
Is this my third pick? I've
Decent,
only picked
decent
2.
pick.
Yeah,
Yeah, you only
I
picked
felt
2.
the same way, Andrew. This is only the third.
Okay.
Well, this is also you're about to have 3, 4, and then you're done.
And then you're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My number. Okay, so
12th pick of the draft.
I know what I'm going to pick for my last pick, but I'll save that one. So I'm deciding.
You're back to back.
Oh, I can see
I
that.
know, but I'm deciding between 2 for my third pick, and
So wait, are you deciding
it's between a sequel and a non-sequel. I'm
So
going to
wait,
go with the
You're an
non-sequel.
annoying person.
the one you don't pick? You're not going to pick at all because you already have your last one.
Correct. My last one's
That's
already in my head.
crazy.
Okay.
No, because so the 2 that I'm deciding between are probably objectively better than my last one, but I
Okay.
want to have my last one on my team.
This-
You'll see.
You have
You'll
a
see
a
why.
heartfelt pick and then an objective pick.
For my third pick, I'm going to take Ants. It's the first DreamWorks movie. And I already had a Mel Gibson one, so I might as well have a Woody Allen one. Just have all the problematic actors. I was more of a Bug's Life person, I'll be honest, but Ants does the job. Kicked off the DreamWorks cinematic universe, which isn't really a cinematic universe. And Ants.
You're like barely talking up your own pick. Honestly, I think like Ants is better than A Bug's Life. Is my take on it. I always liked Ants better than A Bug's Life. I never really got the appeal of A Bug's Life. Maybe I saw Ants first or something. I don't know. Really good pick. Honestly, this was in my like top 6, top 7. But then I was afraid that you guys were going to take other stuff. So it's a good pick. You don't necessarily seem like you believe that it's a good pick, but I think it's a good pick.
I'm not passionate about the movie, but I think
Yep,
it's a good movie.
I think that's fair. I don't remember exactly what I said during the Pixar episode, but like I when I was younger, I was more into Ants because I had it on VHS. Like my grandma recorded it while it was on TV on a tape, and then we would she gave that to us. Like that's how I remember it. I think I'm more of a Bug's Life person now, but part of that is just I haven't seen Ants in so long. But I remember it being really good, and I remember even back then being like, "Why are there 2 Ant movies?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
I think you guys
it's-
talked about this on your Pixar episode.
Yeah.
Also, Andrew, I feel like this should have been the movie that like introduced like class consciousness to you and like social
that's the thing.
stratification.
I think that if I watched this before this episode or in the last 20 years, I would be more passionate, and it might even be higher on my list because I think it was like well known that Ants was like had more like adult humor and like satire in it,
Yeah.
and Bug's Life was more just like visual gags that kids loved, which is why as a kid I liked Bug's Life more. But I want to rewatch Ants. I think I would be happy that I picked it, and I think it might even like rise in my rankings.
I'm glad it got picked because it's on my list, but I don't know if I would have picked it with my last. Like I think there's something else I would have gone above it, but I'm glad it's on the board because I think it does deserve to be up there.
I agree with that. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I also remember liking it.
All right.
There you go.
And then for my final pick, so the other one I was deciding between was Kung Fu Panda 2, but it's not going to make my list because I have enough Kung Fu Panda. There's never such a thing as too much Jack Black, but I don't
It's a
need
bet.
it.
Kung Fu Panda 2 is arguably better than the
I
first. It's really
remember
good.
it.
It's really
All right.
good.
But my actual last pick is Captain Underpants. I
Color me surprised.
I don't really care about the movie, but as a child, this Captain Underpants books were probably the only thing that got me to read, and I think a lot of little boys would probably say the same thing. So to see it come to life on screen, sure, great. It was like I again, not passionate about the movie, but very glad it got made, and I hope it lives on forever.
Drunk Griffin, before you say anything, I get why he doesn't. Why I get this is a secondary passion because I'm with Andrew. I never even saw the movie. Didn't care about seeing it. But the books were such a major part of like. I remember going to the book fair with Andrew and like all anyone was looking at was Captain Underpants books. They were so funny, so good. I'm glad a movie got made.
I think those were the last books that Kevin Meekins ever read.
Probably. I forgot this actually was a movie until I looked at the list and didn't know it was DreamWorks to begin with. Would not have picked it, but it is one. I'm not surprised Andrew did.
Here's the pushback, and I think you guys know what the pushback is going to be. We made 4 picks. Half of us have made 4 picks so far. You're not passionate about fully half of those 4 picks.
could have told you this was going to happen. That's what I was saying at the beginning. I'm not passionate about many DreamWorks movies, and a
There's another
bunch of
dream.
yours I haven't seen.
I appreciate that you pick something because it is an adaptation of something that you loved. However, you have not seen that adaptation, so it could be dog shit.
Nah, no way.
Those books were so good that I think just seeing Captain Underpants just brings enough joy to make this worthy of a last
Sure.
pick.
I want to be clear. I have seen it, or at least I've seen.
You have
most
seen
of
it.
I've seen. Yes, I've seen it.
I thought you had said at the beginning you hadn't seen it.
No. I
Okay.
don't know if I've seen it all the way through. I've seen definitely like
That's
scenes and
not
clips.
not better.
I think I might have watched it all the way through. I don't know, but I remember a couple funny scenes. Because I remember it's like it has interesting voice acting choices, like fully grown adults playing the children and everything.
That is funny.
Wasn't
But it's
Kevin
fine.
Hart?
Kevin Hart is George.
Well,
I
it's
think.
always Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course,
you can
yeah.
just you see an animated film, you can assume.
I think we can move on then.
Andrew's cracking me up this episode.
Oof, I have a couple I could go with. I have three that I think are incredibly underrated, and I don't think will get picked, but probably deserve to be. I'm not gonna go with any of those. I'm gonna go with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So the second Puss in Boots movie, I never saw the first one, but my nieces made me watch this, and it is
This is the one that came out recently, right?
Like-
or like in the past few years?
4 years, maybe 3, with the wolf as Death.
Yeah.
And it's not the best, like compared to some of the other ones, compared to the rest on the list, or at least mine on the list, like it wouldn't be I have it as my number 10, and like I think that's perfect. But it's like it's such a well-made movie, such a good story. It has a lot of aspects for kids, but it kind of like Kung Fu Panda, where like it has like action that can be appreciated from an older generation too. It's such a good character that they took from Shrek 2, also on my list, and has its own franchise, and whatever the rest of the franchise did, I don't know. But I just really enjoy this movie.
It's funny you say, and I'm not pushing back on the pick at all. It's just funny that you say like it's not the best, when I actually feel like when it came out, it was one of those movies where people were like, it's crazy that this franchise is actually getting better with time. And I feel like I remember people saying it was like maybe their favorite Shrek universe film since Shrek. And it made $500 million. Like
I
it
don't
made an
remember
enormous amount of money.
Anything after Shrek 2, I never saw the first Puss in Boots. But yeah, I know it was like very, very well received, and like has, I think, probably kept the franchise alive for what it was beforehand. And like if you haven't seen it, I would put it up there as like a must watch if you're looking for, kid animated movies.
I saw a Reddit thread like yesterday that was like, what's one movie that you were like completely out on until you actually watched it? And like I think the top comment might have been the most recent Puss in Boots. Everyone was like raving about how great it is. And I've only seen like clips from it. I've seen the first Puss in Boots. I haven't seen the newest one, but people
I know
love that movie.
A big part of that is the villain, Death, is a wolf. That's not giving anything away. Like that's the main antagonist. Yeah, I mean, I would watch it. I would recommend it to watch it, I'd say.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, it sounds like I'd like to watch it. He's a great character.
Antonio Banderas, how can you hate that?
Antonio Banderas is perfect. He's great.
I don't think he's a bad dude, but I could be wrong. He's no Mel Gibson.
No, I don't think Antonio Banderas has any criticism of him as a person.
I think he's still
Salma Hayek
awesome.
too. She's perfect.
Selma,
She is perfect.
she is genuinely perfect.
She could be in the
I
live
think what we
action
need to start
Eldorado.
doing after we do these media episodes is putting together a list of all the things that people on them haven't seen, and then coming back and being like, all right, what's our feedback on this? Because we really
agree.
just need to expand. Mo and I, Andrew too. Andrew's letting me down a little bit on this one.
Yeah, that's fair. Didn't we like on our decom list years ago? Didn't we say like the loser of that was going to have to watch all their decom
Andrew,
back to back?
Yeah, but I didn't do
Griffin
it.
had to watch.
Yeah,
I have seen this. So to get me a little bit of slack, I have watched a few of them since then. Just by
don't
virtue
think
of
I've watched any
watching
decom
decom
since then.
movies. Yeah, including I think I've watched High School Musical twice since then, and that was 3 years ago.
I have zero interest in doing it over Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, whatever. But if we all live near each other, I would 100% do a DreamWorks Power Hour.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
just watch DreamWorks movies for the night.
We had said for the decom thing is that I was going to like live tweet it, but that was right around the time that Twitter really, really was like,
And no one
we don't
cared.
want to be on this anymore, and like we're definitely not going to engage with each other on this. So I think that killed it a little bit.
Fair.
Facebook, people love Facebook.
Facebook loves list night. I'll tell you what, people love Facebook. All right, let's wrap up my picks.
This is where it's real tough, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I have
Well-
one that I really truly love, and I was mentioning earlier. We're talking about Hans Zimmer. Incredible, more than anything, incredible soundtrack, incredible score. My sister loves this one. Her kids love this one. I think this might be my nephew Teddy's favorite movie, potentially. It's The Prince of Egypt, which is up there with the Rugrats episode as being maybe the best adaptation of the story of Exodus from the Bible. It's another film. Like, this is definitely like the older DreamWorks animation style, more in line with like El Dorado and King of Dreams and all that other stuff they used to do, where it's definitely more like drawn looking. Just a gorgeous movie. Just looks so good, sounds so good. I don't remember who the voice actors are for it. I want to say, is one of them Christian Bale?
What David Spade is one, right?
Val
Did I make
Kilmer,
that up?
Omar, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Patrick
I think I was
Stewart.
thinking of Val Kilmer when I said Christian Bale.
Oh, the other Batman.
You know what?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you have a good chance of landing on a Batman at this point if you say any name of somebody that worked in Hollywood.
White male actor.
But yeah, it's Ralph Fiennes, just an incredible list of actors. Jeff Goldblum, got to give him all his credit in the world. Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. Come on. Yeah, this could look first round pick, guys. I'm just gonna say it could have been a first round pick. Prince
David
of
Spade
Egypt.
was
That's mine.
The Emperor's New Groove. That's what I was thinking of.
That is yes. Also an incredible movie. Is that DreamWorks? That's not DreamWorks.
No, it's not
Disney.
DreamWorks. It's not DreamWorks.
Disney.
I was gonna say if that was DreamWorks, that would have been a first round pick.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
yeah, I don't. This was the movie that I said I know I liked it as a kid, but I haven't seen it since. So I instead didn't choose it. This was the one that I was going to choose because I know it's a good movie. I just don't remember anything of it.
Well, you went to Catholic school, so you've read the Bible, and as a fan of the Bible, you should be a fan of this pick.
Yeah, one of my least favorite parts of my past is the fact that I went to Catholic high school.
Yeah, he got the spark notes on the Bible.
Well, he went to good counsel, so public school and private school prices.
Yeah, basically.
This movie goes with Ants, where like I know I watched it as a kid, but I really don't have distinct memories of it other than watching it. I agree, it's beautiful. I know that much just from the images, but like I don't have memories of it. Apparently, my DreamWorks stuff started in 2000 with Road to El Dorado, since Ants and
Prince of Egypt's like 98, 99. Is it?
It's
is
Ants,
it
Prince
before?
of Egypt, then Road to El Dorado, then Chicken Run. But anyway,
Can't leave out Chicken Run.
is a beloved movie that also isn't like big. At least not when you compare it to Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon. But like, I know it was such a big movie at the time, and I think it still is a big movie to a lot of people, just not on the scale of some of the other ones.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way. I don't really remember it well. I remember liking it, but I don't have much to add to it. So terrible pick, Griffin.
Bad pick. Bad.
Also,
You guys want to hear? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, bold of DreamWorks to start off with a movie about ants and then move right into the Bible next.
Yeah.
So
They were talking about class consciousness, and then they were like, we should tell stories about God.
Moses.
Yeah. Moses and his just wacky adventures. Fun fact about this movie, it won Best Original Song at the 71st Oscars, which made it the first animated film outside of Disney or Pixar to win an Oscar. So
What song was
good
that?
pick, Griff.
Wow.
What song was it?
Very cool.
When You
Yeah.
Believe. It was Mariah Carey, I think.
Hmm.
Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Might have been both of them. Both of them. It is both of them. Banger.
All right.
Also, Hans Zimmer on the score.
Can't go wrong with Han.
Cannot.
All right. The last pick of the draft. I was debating just going with How to Train Your Dragon 3, but I felt lame taking the second and third one with my last two picks, so I'm not doing that. I'm going to go with the movie that I saw once in theaters that I remember really liking, Over the Hedge. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It was a good movie. I watched it in theaters. I remember it was one of those things where like I was hanging out with like my friend and some friends, and like their parent was like, what should I do with kids? Not that we were like 8 years old at that point, but like oh, I guess we'll just take them to see this like animated movie. And I remember like not being super thrilled to steal it and then being like, oh, that actually movie was very good. Bruce Willis was the voice actor, which I forgot, but I looked it up to remember that. It's not going to be on the list of like obviously the heavy hitters, and I don't think it's even as good as like The Prince of Egypt, but I just think it's a solid movie.
It is on, like I said, I had 3 that I think were underrated, but like I would be willing to pick if you guys had taken some of the stuff I wanted. I remember thinking it was great. I haven't seen it in so long, but like I've got no issues with it being the last pick of the draft because I think it's an underrated movie, and I would be open to watching it again.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, it's a solid Mr. Irrelevant for this draft. Yeah, again, can't speak to like individual plot points, but I think I've seen it once as a kid and liked it. So can't ask for more than that.
We have found my blind spot. I've never seen this movie. I've never heard of this movie until I was looking at the list today. I don't know what was happening in my life in 2006. I think my parents were getting divorced. Maybe that's why I missed it. I don't know. It's been a while since I brought that up on the podcast.
Nothing major.
Yeah.
Was it Over the Hedge's fault for them getting divorced?
Could have been.
And if so,
They were
Moda,
over
you're
the
dead.
marriage.
Yeah, I mean, okay, all right, 6 out of 10.
Pretty good.
I will
Good
add
enough.
it to the list. I like Bruce Willis. I like Steve Carell. I like kind of William Shatner. I
Steve
don't like
Carell
Wanda
was Carell?
Sykes. I just know he's on the cast list, and Nick Nolte's in it, which is crazy because I don't really see Nick Nolte as being somebody that would ever do an animated feature. So
Thanks,
I
Steve
will
Carell.
have to watch this movie.
I think Steve Carell's the squirrel.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
only remembered Bruce Willis from the characters.
Avril Lavigne is also in this, and
Oh,
everyone
shit.
knows that she died 20
Yeah.
years
I was
ago.
gonna say
So that's crazy.
Fake Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, this would have been the replacement already at this point.
Yeah.
But you're gonna gain so many points in our group of girlfriends who all absolutely believe in that theory.
Who know that joke or not that joke?
Well, don't call it a joke because then you'll
Not
lose
joke.
those points.
Not the right word I was looking for. Conspiracy theory was the word I was looking
Conspiracy
for.
theory, yeah. They're all a little bit too deep into that one.
They're hip on
I'm
that.
here
right.
for it. I think that's a great last pick.
Yeah, let's
I appreciate that.
do our recaps and hopefully we'll remember the order that we picked in because I sure as shit don't.
I do, and I went first. So I'll go. Shrek was the 101, and then I took Madagascar. Then my third pick was How to Train Your Dragon 2, and then the last one was Over the Hedge.
Yeah, with my first pick, I did How to Train Your Dragon. With my second, I did The Wild Robot. With my third, I did Megamind. And with my fourth, I did The Prince of Egypt.
With the third pick of the draft, I did Road to El Dorado. With the sixth pick of the draft, I did Shrek 2. With the 11th pick, Spirit, the stallion of Cimarron.
Cimarron?
Spirit.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Something like that.
Good movie. You should watch it. With the 14th pick, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
With my first pick, I took Chicken Run. Second pick, I took Kung Fu Panda. Third pick, I took Ants. And fourth pick, I took Captain Underpants.
I mean, I
Sneaky
still
good
think,
list from Andrew for a man who's
Yeah.
never seen a movie.
but still putting Chicken Run above Kung Fu Panda, like,
See, it's crazy. It's
I
crazy.
get it. I think it's wrong.
The
but I
thing
get it.
is, the
They feel
best
so
part
different.
is that
They feel
he
so
didn't even
different.
need to do that because he has back-to-back picks.
But
He
it's how
could have
he
made
felt.
the
It's
right
how he
pick
felt.
and then the subjectively good pick.
It's how he
And
felt,
instead
and
he
I
was
get
like,
it.
I'm just going to throw him off. I'm going to get in their heads.
They just
See, that's
feel
the
like
problem
such different
when you
movies
go
to me.
back to back. That's a problem when you go back to back though, because you don't really like think about the order of it. You're just
Yeah,
like,
it
okay,
doesn't
these are
matter.
the two picks
Yeah.
that I want.
If somehow a team ended up with like the first two picks in the NFL draft and there was like a runaway, like this guy should definitely be picked first, everyone agrees, and I was in charge of that team, I'd pick him second.
Well, yeah,
You know,
because of the-
bring him back down to earth. I'm like, we're
Well,
getting you
at
anyway.
that point,
The
you also,
signing
I think,
bonus.
pay them less.
Pay him
right?
less money.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah. Look.
Fucking hate me.
Yeah, they might not love your choices, but it kind of makes sense. Good. I'm surprised, honestly, how many DreamWorks films I actually
too.
like. I remember that I've always felt like, and I think this is a pretty common take, that they're kind of the B tier in a lot of people's minds to Pixar,
They're not now.
and they're not.
They're not.
No, they've got some absolute fucking bangers.
I think
And honestly, at this point, I feel like Pixar. I loved Elio, which I saw about a week ago, but I've been disappointed by some of Pixar's recent output.
Well,
I think
and
it's
I
like
think-
very, very childish.
I think that's what it goes back to, is that DreamWorks has always probably broadened their net essentially for who the movie's for. I mean, some of
Yeah.
them not as much. Like Wild Robot is not just a kids movie by any means, but most Pixar movies are, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of really good stuff on this list. Some that I'm looking forward to checking out. Some that we're definitely gonna put into a separate list for Modi and Andrew to watch, and then maybe we'll revisit this down
There's
the
only
line.
like two
Who's to say?
that I haven't seen.
That's fair. I have to mention Rise of the Guardians, which was on my holiday list, but didn't
I
make
thought
it
you were
here.
gonna say it. I thought that
know.
was gonna be your last pick. I was so confident.
It was one of the three with Over the Hedge, that and Monsters vs. Aliens, that I think are underrated.
Monsters vs. Aliens is really good.
Yeah, I necessarily didn't necessarily want to pick them in my top 5, but like I think they're generally underrated. And if I had run out of my other picks, I would have no issue picking any of those three.
Have you guys seen the Sinbad movie?
No,
Yeah.
I want to.
It's good.
I want
It's good.
to now. I forgot it existed.
Me too. I was like, because when I was looking up DreamWorks, I was like, I don't think I've seen that movie, but I know about it, so I couldn't quite remember.
If I remember correctly, you guys might find out otherwise. It was like critically reviewed well, but it made very little money. And I think
I feel like
it is the reason that DreamWorks moved away from that type of animation. I think it lost them so much money that's why they then pivoted to like the more Pixar, like 3D animation style. That's another one I mentioned it at one point, like a Brad Pitt pick. Brad Pitt is Sinbad in that movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. It's like an adventure film. Like it's great.
I feel like I can't back up what you're saying, but that feels right to me because I think there's a pretty clear shift after that movie. Because after Sinbad 2, it's Shrek 2, it's Shark Tale. After Sinbad, it's Shrek 2, Shark Tale, Madagascar, then Wallace and Gromit. But like the animation definitely goes away from Prince of Egypt, Joseph King of Dreams, and Sinbad.
Yeah.
Very clearly one way and like one type of movie. But yeah, Modi, like I want to watch Sinbad now. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, I don't know if I ever saw it, but I think I need to.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe if we had done 5, I don't know. A little surprised that Shark Tale didn't end up on anybody's list.
I'm not a big Shark Tale guy.
I think all of us have been in middle school Spanish classes where
Nope.
they played that movie in Spanish.
You'd be wrong. I took French.
You took French. Did they play it in French?
No, I did not.
That Shark Tale, and Finding Nemo, for whatever reason, are highly available as VHSs in the Spanish language.
See, for me, it was Over the Hedge, it was Shark Tales, and there's another one, Flushed Away, where I was like, I saw them when they first came out, and then of that list, Over the Hedge was the one that I went with, but they're kind of interchangeable for me.
Yeah.
Shark Tale, I'm not the biggest fan of. B movie, not the biggest fan of.
I've never seen Shark Tale in English. I've seen it genuinely a dozen times in Spanish, and I've never seen it in English.
I've never seen B movie. I think I've seen Shark Tale once and didn't care for it. And that, like, it was.
You know what you should watch? Don't watch B movie because it's garbage. Watch B movie where every time they say the word B, it speeds up.
No.
Yeah, I remember all those.
It's
YouTube,
over in like 8 minutes, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
God.
That's funny.
It's a lot better than actually listening to Jerry Seinfeld talk for an hour and a half. All right. If you're still here and listening to this dumb rambling about all the different movies we've seen, we appreciate you. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you click the like button. Make sure you comment below your favorite DreamWorks films or any other lists you'd like us to do or drafts you'd like us to do. Make sure you've subscribed if you have not done so already. And if you're listening to us on your favorite audio platform, click that follow button, rate and review, ideally 5 stars. Talk about how great our voices sound and how handsome you imagine we are. And we will be back probably next week with some other stupid ass list. We will see you next time.